How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. It had quite the strong performance on the Friday, closing just over 4% on the day. But of course, I want to make sure you're prepared for this coming week. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $25.67, being up 4.14%. On the low, it tested $24.65, and then on the high, testing $26.15. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 34.74 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 24.84 million shares. So what you notice, we had above average volume, and it's part of the reasons why we saw strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 49.54. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 50-day, the 200-day, but we are above the 21-day EMA. And the point that I want to bring to your attention, you can see for the past 3 trading days, we've been able to form some higher lows on the chart. And with this, we were able to have some strength, being able to close at 25.67. The high on the day was at 26.15. So going into Monday, if it continues to look bullish, then the next level I want to see being tested is at 27.50. You've heard me talk about this for quite some time on the channel. If it could hold up 27.50, then there's a strong possibility it could see 30 for this week. But I'm going to be real with you guys. We have been seeing a lot of buying happening inside of the market, and it's only natural for a pullback or some profit taking to actually happen. So if we end up having a pullback, whether it happens on Monday or Tuesday, then I'm expecting to see if we could actually hold up support right here around $23. That will be key. And if we end up breaking through 23 and we start going below 22, that's where we have some downside pressure, where I see Lucid can go down to being around a $19 to $18 stock. Again, this is the worst case scenario. But for the most part, if you want to continue to see a bullish pattern, you're going to have to see a higher low. So what that would be, since we tested 24.65, you'd want to see if it could hold up maybe around 24.80. And if it could hold 24.80 and we end up having another green day, that's where I could see that move going to 27.50. So let's see how it performs for this coming week. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So for the off-exchange short volume ratio, it's at 51.17%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.4 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, short shares availability is at 650,000, updated 9 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 8.54%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 17th, it was at 52.83. And then for the close of the 18th, being at 51.17. So what this shows right away, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see on the inflow, it's at 347, and then on the outflow, it's at 86.61. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 227. On the medium, it was 88.58. And then on the small, it was 31.29. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 12.48. On the medium, it was 46.50. And then on the small, it is 27.63. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see from March the 18th, that big inflow of 214.55 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders, that tends to represent the retail side, side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had a lot more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.10%. So it continues to be a consistent range for Lucid. No shocker there due to the fact we've been seeing a lot of money coming into the market as a whole, so there's going to be more trading. And you can see we also did have above average volume, and we talked about that inside of the technicals. That's why I say this week coming is going to be very interesting for Lucid. Now let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when it comes to the price action, you want to see it hold up $25. This is very crucial. If it is able to do this at the beginning of the week, then we could see that push going to $27.50. We know this is a key area, and if it can break through $27.50, then there's a good chance the stock will make a move to $30. We also have to understand though, the market was very strong. Lucid has formed higher lows for the past 4 trading days, so it's only natural for profit taking to happen. And if that profit taking does occur and this stock falls below $25, then there's a good chance it can get down to $22. Why do we know this? Because we've seen this happen repeatedly in the past. So this is why you want to make sure you're doing your homework and you have a game plan before trading this play. And if it does decide to consolidate and so forth, so that means we have some profit taking and plus we have some green days in between, then the range that I want to look out for is around 24 to around 27. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential, and that's part of the reasons why you want to keep it on your radar. We notice in the order flow distribution, a lot of big money has been loading up, and we see there's a lot of interest on the retail side, so that shows us there's a lot of demand inside of the market. But the one thing that we still cannot forget, there's still a lot of uncertainty out there. We have C19 waving its head again. We also have the war with Ukraine and as well as Russia. Plus, on top of that, we have concerns in regards to inflation. And many of you already know about this already, so that's why I don't want you to be naive thinking, well, you know what, we're going to continue to have green days going forward. It is natural for stocks to pull back. They just don't go straight up. So if you're out there and you're watching channels or people are telling you, well, you know what, the market's going to continue to go up, they don't see it slowing down anytime soon, then I would highly suggest you start doing some homework for yourself and then see how stocks actually perform. Usually when there's strong run-ups, we have pullbacks, we have consolidation. So that's why you don't need to be caught on the wrong end of your trade. There is no reason why you should be FOMOing at any prices whatsoever. If you see Lucid going to $27 for this week and you're a long-term investor, it doesn't make sense for you to rush in and buy it at that particular price. I, for myself, which I'm emphasized many times on this channel, I'm waiting for this stock to fall below $20, and I'm going to stick to that, and no one's not going to change my mind about it. A lot of people are telling me, well, Dre, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to get any more Lucid shares under $20. If that ends up being the case, then so be it. But I feel it, whether you're a trader or an investor, you have to have rules that you follow. You have to have a guideline. You just don't go out there and just buy the stock because you feel like it or you're using your emotions. This is the fastest way to go red in your position and start questioning yourself, saying, well, you know what, should I even be keeping this stock? Should I even be adding on the dips? I'm not too sure about it. Again, I want you to kill that attitude, kill that mindset. Instead, I want you to make informed decisions. Put your research together, do your due diligence, find out if the play is right for you, and have high conviction. Because with high conviction, if Lucid decides to pull back even further, you will load up on those dips. I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but I don't want you going out there in the market making the same mistakes over and over again. Have a strategy. So let's see how the stock performs for this coming week, and I will continue to keep you guys inside of the loop. We'll talk soon.